Spicy. Oh. Oh. Hello, my fiery friends, the Infernoman here with the latest in deck technology. And for today's deck tech, we'll be covering a budget version of a very popular deck going around the Explorer format right now, which is the Boros Convoke deck. However, I thought to myself, is it possible for us to actually pull this off on a budget? Well, you're about to find out that it is very much possible. But of course, before we cover the actual full meat of the deck, let's cover the stats basically for this deck. So we're going to be a mono white deck. We technically have a small splash right here of red, but you won't be casting anything for the actual red. We have a way to get around that, of course. Your average mana curve is going to be about 2.4, which again, does look a little bit high and it does look awkward for the deck, but it will work out with what we're trying to plan out, which I'll explain in just a moment. We have 34 creatures in the deck. We have 6 non-creature spells, specifically 6 instants, 8 artifacts, and 20 lands. The whole plan is, of course, to just form the board with a ton of creatures for cheap and then just convoke out our bigger threats, which we can then just use to cascade into a ton of value and overwhelm our opponent. Starting, of course, with our first main convoker, we have Halo Hopper, which is a 3 mana 3/2. It doesn't look like it's much, but this cute little frog basically can come out for free if we convoke it. Just to clarify one more time, as you can see in the corner here, convoke basically means your creatures can help cast the spell. Each creature you tap while casting the spell pays for 1 mana of that creature's respective color. Thankfully, Halo Hopper is a colorless card, so we can use any color we can have to cast it with creatures or mana. As far as our other main game plan here, we're going to bring back Venerated Loxodon. Wow, this is actually a throwback at this point. Venerated Loxodon has a 4/4 Elephant Cleric with 5 mana, but it also comes with Convoke. So when it enters the battlefield, you put a +1/+1 counter on each creature that convoked it. So this will beef up our entire army of creatures very quickly. However, new to this game plan is our card from March of the Machine, Knight Errant of Eos. So this 5 mana human knight is a 4/4 with also Convoke. When the knight enters the battlefield, you get to look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with a mana value of X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked the Knight of Eos. Put the revealed cards into your hand and then shuffle. So in other words, this game plan basically revolves around 2 of these main cards as our finishers. Venerated Loxodon will help pump up the team. The Knight Errant of Eos basically will help dig through our deck to get to our answers and extra finishers. Our other main finisher in the deck is going to be Regal Leosaur. So this 2 mana Boros Dinosaur Cat allows us to then give our entire team +2/+1 until end of turn as long as it's mutated. So you're never going to actually hard cast this. You're going to do the mutate cost. You're basically going to pay for that 3 mana cost just to then pump up your entire team and give them a massive power bonus to swing at. Now, what creatures are we going to be utilizing to make this game plan work? So let's cover those real quick. They're not going to be anything super crazy or special, but they're just helpful because they are cheap and provide great utility to buff out the board. We have Ornithopter as a free spell. We have Snubborn Sentry, which will get bigger as long as we have the City's Blessing, which means if we have 10 or more permanents on the battlefield. Thraben Inspector gives us a clue token when it enters the battlefield. In the 2-drop slot, we have Clarion Spirit, where when we can cast our second spell each turn, we create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Raise the Alarm and Resolute Reinforcements. If we want to, we can get some more soldier creature tokens with Raise the Alarm as our instant. And Resolute Reinforcements is a creature itself that provides for us an extra soldier creature token when it enters the battlefield. And then our only thing else we have is a tiny touch of removal / extra tokens in Charge of the Might. So when this, you can either choose to either do damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker, or you basically can create some extra mites. But that's basically the whole game plan. It's nothing super crazy or super wild. Again, you're just trying to flood the board as fast as you can and just destroy your opponent before they have a way to answer you. Since we are a budget deck, we're only going to rock 16 planes as our actual lands and then 4 Sheffet dudes. So this is another layer to the game plan if we just need a way to pump up the team just to finish off our opponent. Now, as far as your sideboard is concerned, we're going to then utilize a bunch of cheap spells that also will make sure we can maintain momentum. Starting with Tormod's Crypt, it's also another free spell and artifact where we just sacrificed just to get the graveyards out of the way. We have some Deafening Silence here. Since we're mostly a creature-heavy deck, Deafening Silence will slow down the control decks and combo decks out there. Our Fragmentize is going to be the cheapest option we have for artifact and enchantment hate in the early game. Your other option for removal will be Ossification, which just helps us exile a creature or planeswalker off the battlefield and gets our board clear, ready for us to swing. And then as for your other rares, you'll have Skrelv's Hive and Wedding Announcement. So Skrelv's Hive goes tandem with the Wedding Announcement because we have ways of just refilling our board with more creature tokens in case of our entire board gets blown up. However, if we do need to protect the game plan and we want to make sure that we have what we need to finish off our opponent, we will utilize Make a Stand, which gives all of our creatures a +1 buff and also gives them indestructible until end of turn. So you can use this as a way to finish off your opponent and overwhelm them to stack up with Shepherd Dunes or maybe Regal Leosaur, or you can utilize it, of course, as a protection spell in response to one of your opponent's wraths. But otherwise, that's the whole game plan for you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling pretty high about this deck right now. This deck, even at a simple level of this, was already successful many years ago in Standard, but now thanks to the Knight Errant of Eos, I think this deck actually could have the legs to then maintain itself in the Explorer format. So, as always, we're going to take this deck into a couple of matches and show you how the deck handles itself. But before we continue, if you do like any of the content that I do, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, booster pack openings, deck decks, and so much more. Okay, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our One for All deck, Convoking in mono white. And wow, okay, so we do have some power here if we can get these to stick. I think we can hold on to this, and we should hopefully be able to convoke out our Venerated Loxodon by turn 3. So Plains, the Raven Inspector, we make a clue token, and we pass. Okay, so what is our opponent trying to play? Alright, Battlefield Forge. Boulder Epic here. Oh, okay, so our opponent is actually playing the same deck as we are, but we're the budget version. Can we beat them? So with that, let's go ahead and just swing here. Alright, and then we pass here. Den of the Bugbear. Clarion Spirits. Alright, the race is on, everybody. Can we get there? Clarion Spirit again, makes a token. Ornithopter coming out. They swing, raise the alarm, take some tokens. No blocks here. We're down to 18. All right, Raven Inspector out. We'll play that. We investigate. We will now pay for this with Convoke. Venerated Loxodon, pumping up our speed. Okay, well, we definitely have some power now. Another Plains for our opponents. Forbidden Friendship. Raven Inspector. Okay, opponent's going wider than us faster, but can we get there? Opponent will not swing here, of course. We have Resolute Reinforcements, which is also nice. We will play Resolute Reinforcements. So we need to keep this arms race up. So with that, Resolute Reinforcements paid for with our creatures here. And there we go. Gives the team another pump here. Okay. Can we maintain? We're trying to hopefully just keep pace with our opponent here, but it all is going to come down to, okay, they're actually drawing a card here. That means they're trying to find their action. Surprised at how well we do only on 2 lands. Oh wow, our opponent is digging for answers here big time. This does give us a bit of an edge here. Okay, if we can just draw into what we need, we might actually be able to get there. Do we swing here? I think we should probably make the first move. I want to see if our opponent has anything against us. They block. And block. And block. Block again. Okay. Well, we've definitely made the first move here. We'll pass. We can then get out a Raise the Alarm on the end of this end step to at least provide us with a way to protect ourselves in case our opponent has any kinds of tricks up their sleeve. But I think we might actually overwhelm our opponent while they're still trying to find their answers. Maybe the budget version is better. All right. Clarion Spirit. They're making their spirits. They're rebuilding their army. Boulder and Epicure. Okay. Opponent's almost out of cards now. They only have 1 card in hand. Does our opponent swing? Okay, they don't. All right. So we got our Plains. We have a Charge of the Mites if we need to. Let's swing here and see if they do anything. Blocking and blocking. Opponent's at a major disadvantage right now because we have so much power already on the field. They have to block everything, I realize. This is great for us. All the blocks. All the blocks. Oh, wow. Okay. Opponent, clock's ticking. Hopefully they figure out their blocking strategy here.
As long as you can do basic math, you'll be fine.
Okay. And we still get there. Yes. I don't think our opponent figured out the best way to block. We got there. Okay, my fiery friends, here we go. We are playing our one for all deck, a Convoke deck in mono white. And alright, so I think this is pretty solid too. We definitely have a way to get Venerated Loxodon out quickly. We have Resolute Reinforcements. Yeah, let's keep this. We have some early game blockers, so our opponent really can't do too much against us. And they have Inspiring Advantage, Cacophony Scamp, Hammer Time deck. I guess we'll find out here. So, Plains, Snubhorn Sentry. That's a pretty decent blocker. And an Ornithopter. Alright. We need to go as wide as we can, as fast as possible. Another Inspiring Advantage. Fire Blade Charger. Does our opponent swing? They do. Or not. Alright, they pass. Okay, so with that, Plains. We will... How do we do this? I think we're going to have to pass here, and then we'll put down Resolute Reinforcements on the end step. Bitter Reunion. Okay. Looks like our opponent's digging for answers here. Drawing some cards. Another Inspiring Advantage. Cacophony Scamp. Any attacks? And they do not. So we Resolute Reinforcements. Make a soldier. Alright. Ooh, okay. So we have our Leosaur, which is awesome here. Are we ready for this yet? I think we need to wait one more turn, everybody. So let us Convoke. 2, 3, 4. Pump up everything. Resolute Reinforcements. Alright, so we have the City's Blessing now, and we definitely have a pumped up Snubhorn Sentry. Next turn, we have to do the swing, otherwise I'm worried that our opponent might have what they need to stop us. If we really need to, we can block here for a little bit, but I think that's probably the only option we have left. Alright. Snarl. Ooh, okay, they tapped out. Okay, I think this is it, right, everybody? I think we got it right here. Okay, so with that, Legal Leosaur. We then put it over. Pump up the team. We swing. And our opponent just takes it.
Stop! He's already dead.
Because they have no option but to lose here. We got it. Oh my goodness. Wow, this deck is actually super awesome. Okay, my fire friends, here we go. We are playing our Convoke deck, a one-for-all style mono-white budget build. And okay, so we do have the Venerated Loxodon and enough creatures to Convoke it out. But we really would like to get that Knight out to hopefully see if we can get a little bit more action on the field. So we're just going to put a Plains down. We won't put this out just yet because I don't know what our opponent's doing. It's not like it's going to really do much anyway right now. Crawling Course. Oh, okay, I guess I'm playing Toxic. Alright, well that's fine. So with that, we will then play nothing yet, because we're going to use Resolute Reinforcements on this next turn. Alright, opponent. They go swinging. We'll take the 1 poison damage, that's fine. Double Garden, Venerated Raw Priest. Okay, so you're definitely a Toxic deck. Resolute Reinforcements. Make a token. Ornithopter. We will then Resolute Reinforcements again. Make another token. We can then play Plains. Thraben Inspector. Wow, we're really going off here. Okay, so with that, we will then Convoke. We will then Ornithopter. Token. Soldiers. Pump up the team. Yes, this is great. Wow, this is actually going super sweet for us. How does our opponent actually stop this? I have no idea. Phyrexian Censor. Actually, I don't really care about that now. Okay, Sheffet Dunes. So from here, we can just swing with our Venerated Loxodon. We swing with Ornithopter and just do a little bit of damage here. Down to 13. Wow, we really are doing it. Okay, so with that, Halo Hopper. We'll pay it for mana because we want to make sure we have blockers up. Actually, maybe we should have kept 1 mana open so we can just get the clue. But that's fine. That's fine. I think we can make it this work anyway. One plays nothing. Wow. Ooh, okay. This is awesome. This is it right here. Okay, we got our Knight. We can get now our biggest finishers out. So with that, we will then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Knight Errant of Eos, everyone. Comes down tap, but we can dig for more pieces here. Okay, so with that, we get here. Okay, I think we get the Clarion Spirits and the Legal Rheosaur. Okay, so with that, even though we can't really do much of else, we can then still swing here with what we have. I know, it's getting a little frisky here, but I think we can pull this off. So they added on some more creatures. Oh, okay, they got an Annex entry. That's annoying, but that's fine. That's okay. We can still get through this, everybody. Opponent blocks and blocks. We get rid of one of their tokens. Crawling Chorus now turns into a Might. And we pass. We are a little vulnerable right now. I do know, yes, I got a little frisky, but I'm feeling pretty good right now. Our opponent basically has to poison us here if they want to win. Skrelv. That's fine. We don't care about Skrelv. Can't do anything for a whole turn. Opponent goes swinging. Take our beaks. Get 4 poison counters. Let's draw a card. Eerie Interlude. Oh, wow. Eerie Interlude. I haven't seen that in a while. Spicy. Oh. Oh. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that. I'm kind of shocked at what just happened. That kind of sucked. And there you have it, everybody. So that was our mono white Convoke deck, a one-for-all style build that on a budget actually does a really good job. I was super impressed with how the deck turned out, but I'm not gonna lie, we didn't get a chance to see it in our matches, but be aware that the biggest weakness to this deck, of course, is you will get destroyed by Wrath. So please keep that in mind. Most likely this deck, however, I think is gonna be best for you in the best of 1 format. But if you do want to play this in best of 3, as you see on the side right there, we definitely have a decent sideboard if you want to then take this into best of 3. Aside from that awkward loss we just got right now, I honestly am really happy with how this deck turned out, and I honestly, on a budget, would not change this one bit. It's solid in my opinion as is. I highly would recommend this if you do want to play the Convoke deck. If you stick around for just the next minute or so, I'm going to show you what I would play if I'm going to upgrade this into the full version of the Convoke deck in the format. And what you see right here is the upgraded version of the deck that's mostly, for better or worse, the version that you're going to see right now on Arena in Ranked. So let's go over this real quick for you. So most of the upgrades are going to be in the versions of just stronger rares that you can have. Giant Killer provides you with a great way of destroying bigger creatures out there, like the mono green creatures that run rampant in the format. Now that we basically are going into red, we can have our options such as Voltred Epicure, which creates a blood token for us, which is going to be helpful for us with a new card that we add in, which is Gleeful Demolition. So this allows us to destroy any one of our free artifacts that we have, and then we can create 3 Phyrexian Goblet creature tokens, which puts a lot of power out on the battlefield very quickly, and it makes this deck accelerate even faster. We're also going to then add in our Forbidden Friendships, so this gives us a red creature and a white creature human token. These help us out, of course, with the Convoke ability if we need to, but of course they just provide for us also not only a creature that we can use immediately with haste, but it gives us, again, 2 bodies similar to Resolute Reinforcements, so that's what going to be replaces the Raise the Alarm. For the rest of the deck, most of it will just stay the same. You obviously want to keep those Knights, you obviously want to keep the Venerated Loxodon. The Charge Up Mites will now get replaced with a pair of Goblins and Ambitious Assault. So they may look a little awkward as ones of, but you see a pair of Goblins basically does the same thing as the Mites, where we create 2 tokens. However, instead of removal, we're focusing completely on just getting some more damage out by giving all of our creatures an extra buff with 2+ to their attack power. This also goes hand in hand with Ambitious Assault. The only major difference is, while this one also only just has one option, we can still draw a card, so we can just go into extra action if we have any of our creatures that are modified thanks to Venerated Loxodon. Otherwise, the game plan sticks mostly to the same. Since we are upgraded, now we can then utilize copies of Castle Embreth to pump up our team as another backup way and more consistency with power. We're going to add on, of course, the mountains. Get, again, your hodgepodge of dual lands as much as you can. Any combination of them mostly will work. Ideally, try to get Inspiring Advantage as a whole playset. That way you can replace the Battlefield Forge if you need to. Keep your pathway lands, obviously shock lands. You're going to be super aggressive with this deck, so that's why you need those. The other upgrades will go into the sideboard themselves. Since we have our game plan set up as we are, we can then utilize Jengasa the Wellspring if we need a big beefy creature in case of our entire game plan gets blown up from our opponents. Your other options for upgrades will be, now that we have red, you can use Rending Volley as a way to get rid of blue or white creatures, and of course the spell can't be counters, which is really good for us just to get rid of those annoying creatures. creatures out of the way. Keep your Tormod's Crypts. You're going to keep your Fragmentize. We'll add in a copy of Light of Hope. This gives us a little bit more leeway, allowing us to either stabilize with some life gain, destroy an enchantment similar to Fragmentize, however it's now at instant speed, or we could put a +1/+1 counter on a creature to give it a quick little buff to protect ourselves. Another copy of Giant Killer in the sideboard. Pithing Needle for enemy planeswalkers out there, a copy of Invasion of Gobakon, so we can have another layer to help buff up our team if we really want to. And also, if we can flip it, it gives us protection. Again, you'll utilize this instead of Make a Stand as your replacement. Keep your Skittle Elves Hive, and now we'll add in copies of Wedding Announcement, so this also will give us another layer to build our tokens up in case of our whole game plan gets blown away from Wraths. My only other final thought is, if you are a fan of the Convoke mechanic, if you are a fan of go wide strategies, if you're like me and you just want to just smash through your opponent as fast as possible and just get your best of 1 wins and finish up your dailies for the day, definitely give this deck a try. Whether you play it in the mono white budget version we showed you today, or you want to go all out with the Boros version, or heck, maybe I've seen even people play it with green splashing in to get a giant dinosaur out on the field. You'll see what I mean if you do play against it. But no matter how you want to play the Convoke deck, give the deck in any way, shape, or form a try, and I assure you, when you smash through your opponent by turn 3 or 4, you will definitely not be disappointed. That's all I have for you today. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and just remember that no matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure to burn bright. Later!